all glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirahe Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 7, text number 18. Tasmad Bhavantam Anavadyam Anantaparam Sarvajnam Ishwaram Akunta Vaikunta Dishnyam Nirvinadhir Aham Yuhui Vrijnabitapto Narayanam Narashakham Saranam Prapadye Tasmad Bhavantam Anavadyam Anantaparam Sarvajnam Ishwaram Akunta Vaikunta Dishyanyam Nirvinadhir Aham Yuhi Vijnabhidapto Narayanam Narashakam Saranam Prapadye Tasmad Bhavantam Anavadyam Anantaparam Sarvajnam Ishwaram Akunta Vaikunta Dishyam Nirvinadhir Aham Yuhi Vrijnabhipatapto Narayanam Narashakam Saranam Prapadye Tasmad Bhavantam Anavadyam Anantaparam Sarvajnam Ishwaram Akunta Vaikunta Dishyanam Nirvinadhir Aham Yuve Vrijnabhipatapto Narayanam Narasakam Saranam Prapadye
Matajis. Tasmat, therefore, Bhavantam, unto you, Anavadyam, the perfect, Anantaparam, unlimited, Sarvagnyam, omniscient, Ishwaram, personality of Godhead, Akuntha, undisturbed by any force, Vaikuntha, the spiritual kingdom Vaikuntha, Dishyam, whose personal abode, Nirvinna, feeling renounced, Dhi, my mind, Aham, I, Yuhe, O Lord, Vrijna, by material distress, Abhitaptaha, tormented, Narayanam, unto Lord Narayan, Narasakham, the friend of the infinitesimal living entity, Sharanam Prapadye, I approach to take shelter. Translation: Therefore, O Lord, feeling weary of material life and tormented by its distress, I now surrender unto you because you are the perfect Master. You are the unlimited, all-knowing Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose spiritual abode is Vaikuntha, is free from all disturbances. In fact, you are known as Narayan, the true friend of all living beings. Purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. No one can claim to be a self-made man because everyone works with the body and mind awarded by the material nature. By the laws of nature, there is always anxiety in material existence, and terrible tragedies periodically harass the conditioned souls. Here Uddhav points out that only Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, is proper master, friend and shelter for the conditioned souls. We may be attracted by the good qualities of a particular man or demigod, but we may later discover discrepancies in that person's behavior. Therefore, Krishna is described as Anavadyam. There is no discrepancies in the personal conduct or character of the personality of Godhead. He is eternally faultless. We may faithfully serve a master, father or demigod, but when it's time for us to receive our reward for faithful service, the master may die. Therefore, Lord Krishna is here described as Anantaparam, which indicates that he is not limited by time or space. The word Anta indicates the termination of time, and Para indicates a special termination. Therefore, Anantaparam means that Lord Krishna is not limited to time or space, and thus will always dutifully reward his faithful servants. If we serve someone other than personality of Godhead, our so-called master may forget our service or become ungrateful. Therefore, Lord Krishna is described here as Sarvagnyam, omniscient. He can never forget the service of his devotee, and therefore he is never ungrateful. In fact, it is said that Lord Krishna does not remember the faults of his devotees, but only the sincere service they have rendered. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gaura Tvishe Namaha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Prishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So again we are very, very fortunate to be part of the wonderful discussions between Lord Krishna and Uddhav. These few chapters which are the discussions of Krishna with Uddhav. Uddhav was feeling very, very disturbed that the Yadus, the way they departed from this world. And he also came to know that Krishna is also going to soon depart. So these are the final instructions or the final discussion between Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his dearmost friend, Uddhav. Very, very intimate discussions, very profound, very, very revealing discussions that are taking place here. And in this particular passage, Krishna has already addressed Uddhav. He's already said that what he should be doing. And in the last few verses, the last 3 verses before this, Uddhav starts speaking. And this is a perfect, it's something like right from the book, as we say, something which is very perfectly done. We can say this is right from the book as it is. So the exact way that someone should approach the Lord is being done by Uddhav. Very classical way. And what is it that he is doing? He is first showing that how fallen and how unfortunate he is. And then is sharing that how glorious the Lord is. The 2 important aspects are there. Because the important aspect in spirituality is to understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Srila Prabhupada again and again and again mentioned this statement. We should all know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, we say this so often, this statement, that many times when we say something so often, it really loses the meaning because it's just spoken so often. But all of us, I experienced it, I'm sure all of you also. When I first heard this statement, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it was an amazing statement. It took me some time to really figure out what this really means. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. When I first heard it, way back in 1987, 88, or 1986, when I first got the book, and I said, of course, I was just a young boy, 14 years old, but I had some understanding. I said, what is this Godhead? What is the personality? What is supreme? But it is in these 4 words, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If we understand these 4 words, it is the perfection of our life. Because many people understand Krishna, but they don't know he is a supreme. Many people understand Krishna, but they feel that he has no personality. And many people know Krishna because everybody knows in India we are born with Krishna and Ram all around. But they don't see him as a god. They see him as a politician. They see him as a diplomat. Things like that. So if we really understand that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, a statement that we speak so often, so many of our books mention that profusely. Why? Why is it repeated again and again? Because we need to constantly get reminded that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now there are two ways to really understand God's supremacy or greatness. The purpose of Krishna consciousness is to understand that Krishna is supreme. How do we understand that Krishna is supreme? By two methods. One is to actually know the glories of Krishna, and that's what the Bhagavatam is all about. How glorious Krishna is, what all he does. Right? I mean, we talk about Matsya Avatar. How huge can God be in the form of a fish? We talk of Kurma Avatar. Gigantic, vastness, hugeness. That's attribute of God. At the same time, God being very small, what big things he can do, the Govardhan Leela. So these are all stories that we understand to understand glories of the Lord. But we will not make the right amount of progress if parallelly, and there are always two tracks to approach God. One track is to know his glories, but if parallelly we don't realize our smallness, it's of no use. Because many a times, if we understand Krishna's glories, the mind will convince us, see, you have understood Krishna's glories. You are great. Because you understood something which is really great. That means you are great. Now that's not really understanding Krishna's glories. Because if we think that sitting on the Vyasasana, or for that matter, as any preacher, if we have really understood Krishna, and if we speak with that understanding, my dear friends, we are seriously mistaken. We are seriously committing a serious error. So it is always two tracks. To understand glories of Krishna, unlimited glories. So there can never be a day where we can say that we have understood Krishna because it's unlimited. Number one. And while we are on this journey to understand the unlimited glories of Krishna, we all have to constantly, minute to minute, realize, I use the word, I underline the word, minute to minute, understand our insignificance. Because if somebody is great, but if we think we are greater, then the great becomes small. But if somebody is great, and to the extent we become smaller, the great becomes greater. Isn't it? It's just physics. So parallelly, both things are required, and that's what Uddhava is doing. And let us take this discussion very seriously. Let us not take it as one of those, okay, yes, Uddhava is glorifying Krishna, oh, he is great, he has no faults, and he's equal to all, he reciprocates with his servants. This is what is mentioned here. But what is the first line mentioned? That is more important for us. I mean, everything is important, but let us focus on the first part of this verse. What he's saying? He's saying, therefore. Now the word therefore is used because what he has spoken in the past few verses about how insignificant he is. He has spoken that in the past two verses. For those who attended, we know that. O Lord, feeling weary of material life and tormented by its distress. Interesting. Feeling weary of material life and tormented by its distress. Now, what does this word weary mean? I want you to understand the dictionary meaning of the word weary. It means physically or mentally exhausted by hard work, exertion, strain, fatigue. What is the word used? Physically or mentally exhausted by hard work, exertion, strain, or fatigue. And torment means extreme pain or anguish of the body and the mind. So what is the feeling of Uddhav? I said, I have been trying. I've been trying to enjoy separate from you, Krishna. I'm trying to enjoy the material holocaust as we have understood from our scriptures. But now, that's why using the word, therefore, I'm weary of it. I'm tired of it. I'm disgusted of it. And I want to take shelter of you. What is the word? Sharanam prapadye. Very interesting. Now, and Arjun says the same word. Now I want to take shelter of you. Sharanam prapadye. My dear friends, when will we say this with the real spirit? Sharanam prapadye. Now. We cannot say it with real spirit unless we have experienced the same distress and torment of the material energy. And as I was reading this, again and again, when I was a child, I used to love, of course we all love to, see sports. But one of my favorite sports was to see boxing. I used to love to see boxing. Whenever I got some time, I would see some boxing, And so much lessons are learned. And when I read this, obviously, there was a connect between what I had seen and what we see here. For those who have seen boxing, we know that, there's obviously a person, both of them are very aggressive in the beginning. They shake hands and they both, they want to win, right? But obviously, in due course, there is someone more powerful. One person is more powerful than the other person. He punches and punches and punches, and one fatal punch, the person falls. Right? We have seen this. He falls. And then the referee says, 1. And then the person. But again, he's so determined to not lose. Right? What he does, he gets up and there's an uproar in the audience. Oh, those who are supporters, they're supporting him. And then again, they engage into this fight. But he's already punched once. He's already a little weak. He's already got, is already on a lower side than the opponent. And the person becomes more aggressive, more aggressive, more aggressive. And there's a final punch. And then he falls down, not able to get up again. Not able to get up again. But he tries heavily. Very powerfully tries. So that's exactly what is the situation of the material energy with respect to us. We all very, very enthusiastically try every second to really give the punch back. But boom, and then we fall down. Again we get up, we fall down. Unless and until we are weary and tormented of this powerful boxer of the name Maya Devi, we will not be having the feeling of Sharanyam Prapadye. We'll keep on fighting. And the world is so designed, it will encourage you, come on, get up, fight. That's the audience. The audience is out there. Come on, get up, fight, get more punches. Come on, try. And this is exactly, we are all surely reminded of this beautiful story in the Bhagavatam of the great elephant Gajendra. Powerful story. We read it almost 6 years back. We spoke about this story in the Bhagavatam. What is the story of Gajendra? A powerful man, powerful elephant, king, staying in the most beautiful place, having all the love and care of his family members, and then he's caught. To just, fast forward the whole story. I'm sure all of us know the story. He's caught by the crocodile in the water when he enters to really take his bath and just play with his family. He's caught, and the feeling that Gajendra has, the first feeling is that, what can he do? Doesn't he know that I am Gajendra, the most powerful elephant? I can defeat him anytime. The first feeling he has, and he starts fighting. He has complete conviction, complete positivity, complete energy that he's going to defeat him very soon. He fights and he fights. But does the grip of crocodile becomes loose? Sometimes we feel that when we are fighting Maya, that sometimes she will become tired. She will leave me. But I was hearing a lecture of one of the senior speakers, and he says that ever since the day, the minute, the second we are born in this material energy, Maya has caught her in her grips, caught us in her grips, right at that second. And the grip is not going to be loosened at any cost. It's going to be surely there. It's going to get tighter and tighter and tighter. But we may fight, we may have hope, but the one thing that makes us continue to fight, what is that one thing? What is that one thing that makes the box, that the guy who is thrown down by the boxer to get up? What is that one thing that was giving Gajendra the energy to fight? What was that one thing? Anybody? There's a chance. There's a hope. There's hope. Hum honge kamyab ek din. There's a hope that I will succeed. And that hope makes us slog and work heavily day and night. The hope that this will work for me. This particular move of mine will work. I will defeat Maya. And it's such an illusion, such a serious illusion that we continue working. We continue working hard. This way, this way, this way. Haven't we done this all our life, my dear friends? Haven't we just spent our life constantly figuring it out, how to really escape the jaws of Maya? But we still don't become tired. We don't become weary. We don't still become tormented by the Maya, because we still have hope, and that hope gives us the energy and the strength to keep on fighting. Until that time, we think we can fight. Krishna is not there. Sharanam Prapadya does not happen. We cannot surrender to Krishna. Such a valuable lesson Uddhava is teaching. First line, I say, Krishna, till the time I don't have that feeling of being tormented and weary of the material energy, I cannot surrender to you. Because the fact is, the purpose of spiritual life is to surrender to Krishna. The purpose is to surrender to Krishna. But what really surrender means? What does surrender really mean? Is it that to perform intense austerities is surrender? Is it that you buy out some unlimited slokas? Is that surrender? Or you give some huge charity of a huge amount? Is that surrender? What is surrender? Surrender is, I read a description, beautiful description. Please hear it attentively, because that's the purpose of life, to surrender to Krishna. And let us understand what surrender really means. It's a matter of really humbling ourselves and saying to Krishna, I am yours, I am suffering. This crocodile of Maya is killing me, and there's nothing I can do. And despite hope after hope, now I realize I will never go away until I surrender to you. That's surrender. What are the feelings that are shown in this? The feelings are that I am humble, I am suffering. Let's recognize the fact that I am suffering. If we are in an anesthetized situation, what is anesthesia? Anesthesia is such an amazing discovery of modern science. You are lying, and sometimes you are anesthetized, your eyes are open, so you see things. I have not gone through it, of course, luckily, and I hope I don't have to go through it. But for people who have gone through it, they can see from the light, there is a stainless steel, so you can see what's happening. There is no mirrors, but there's things reflect, and they see their whole stomach getting cut. Can you imagine? If somebody just cuts you little like this, you're scared, right? Now here you are, a person takes the position, incision, whatever that scalpel or whatever that blade is, incision blade, and he cuts you open, and the blood, it just jets out. That means all your arteries are oozing, and his blood starts gushing out. You are looking at it. but you don't feel any pain. Can you imagine? One prick, you would jump, but here you're getting cut. And that's what Maya really does. She anesthetizes you. You are in complete general anesthesia, not even a local anesthesia. Local means a particular place, which is local anesthesia. If you do an operation of a hand, you just anesthetize the hand. The whole body is still fine because you're just. But if there's a serious big operation, you need a general anesthesia. Maya is constantly giving us that injections of anesthesia. You feel, oh. And what is the feeling after anesthesia? I repeat it every time in my class because it's my favorite feeling. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's class. Samsara lagilo bhalo. Samsara lagilo bhalo. We start feeling that the world is not actually so bad after all, because, people are listening to me. People are really changing their lives by my instructions, and there is some nice work going on. Things are becoming more ecological friendly. It's not a bad world after things are changing. It's a nice place. That Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Samsara lagilo bhalo. This is a dangerous feeling. This world cannot be a nice place. How can you say that your existence, which is bitten by the powerful teeth of the crocodile, that existence is a nice existence? How can you say this? How can you be so dumb? Or rather, how can we be so dumb to feel that this is a nice place? It cannot be. The material energy is meant to torment you, to teach you a lesson that this is place not for a gentleman or gentlewoman to live. Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said that. This is not a place for a gentleman or gentlewoman to live. It is a foreign place. We don't belong to this place. But we still believe that we have hope. So then, if we have to surrender to Krishna, if that Sharanagati has to happen, if the complete unalloyed surrender has to happen, how will it happen? It will not happen till the time we still have a feeling, or we still have the hope that there's something good in the material world. So the first thing Uddhava is saying, oh real Krishna, I am tired, I am tormented, I am disgusted with this material energy. Are we disgusted enough with the material energy is the question we ask ourselves today. And if we say, no, not yet, not so bad after all, then you have a long way to go. Because as explained, till the time it is 100% disgust we have, 100% zero faith in the material energy we have, till that time Krishna is not going to come. Gajendra is a classical example. He was struggling for not for few days, not for few months, for years. For 100 celestial years he fought with a crocodile. How can somebody fight such a long battle for so many hundreds of years till the time he has hope? He cannot fight. And after hard work, he realized that it's impossible. It's impossible. This place is impossible. Then he picked up. What is that famous statement Sridhar Swami always made? The spiritual life is difficult, but material life is impossible. What a brilliant statement. He always made that. That yes, people feel, oh, spiritual life is we have to compare. And you say, oh, spiritual life is so difficult. So many no's, no this, no that, no this, no that. Get up early in the morning. You don't have things that you want to do, can't do that. Yes, it is difficult. Mind has to be controlled. There was a person who was my business partner, not a partner, but a business contact. And, I went with him once for lunch. It was a business meeting, so I went for lunch. And of course, I had a whole list of things which I can't eat. This. And then he said, Mr. Dalal, I said, I don't want to come with you again for lunch. You can have your lunch because it's just too difficult to sit with you because I don't like restrictions. I just want to eat whatever I eat. And if you're sitting, I can't eat what you are eating. The mind feels so disturbed to restrict. The mind wants to just freely flow. Manorathena dhavate. The chariot of the mind wants to just go anywhere you want to go. Right? Any restriction is difficult, and that's why spiritual life is all about restrictions. You can't do this, you can't do that, you can't think this, don't look here, don't look there. So it's difficult to see. That's why we said, yeah, it is difficult. But do we have an alternative? Because the next alternative is material life is impossible. There's no way to live in the material life. It is not a place to live. You can't live here. So Uddhav, in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam, 11th canto, that means the student of Bhagavatam has gone through all the 10 and 11 canto. That means he has gone to all the Braja Leela and all the great, wonderful things that we already studied. But still, Sukadeva Goswami is still repeating the same message. As yes, you are a student of Bhagavatam. You have gone through the 10 cantos. You have read the wonderful pastime of the gopis and Krishna. You have done wonderful Braj pastime, Dwarka pastime, Mathura pastimes. But still, as a student, in this 11th canto, 18th chapter, verse number 8, ask yourself, are you weary and tormented by the material energy? If you're not, even if you finish the Bhagavatam for the next 10 times in your lifetime, the whole Bhagavatam reading, Sharanam Prapadya will not happen. And that's the purpose of the Bhagavatam, to surrender to Krishna. Because ultimately, Parikshit Maharaj, who is hearing the Bhagavatam of Sukadeva Goswami, he came in that mood, complete, wholesale surrender to Krishna, and he gave up everything. He saw everything that he had when he got that curse of the 7 days. Everything that he had was simply the sources of torment, of trouble, and I need to give up everything and just exclusively hear Bhagavatam. But when I analyze myself, and I'm sure when you analyze yourself, you will see there is a long way to go. Because constantly, there's so many things that happen which gives us hope. Constant, there's some hope. There's a ray of hope. Material energy gives us some glorification. Our name appears in some website. Our name appears in some newspapers. Our name is announced amongst the elite. I mean, different ways that we feel, hey, after all, I'm a nice person. After all, things are not so bad. I was just, many years back, I was hearing a lecture by Sachinandan Swami Maharaj. And of course, you all know Sachinandan Swami. He explains things very graphically. Very, very wonderful graphically. He was explaining a very interesting point. That when somebody comes first to Krishna consciousness, the first few days or first few months, what is his feeling? Everybody is a pure devotee. I am the most fallen. Yes? Everybody he's a pure devotee. She's a pure devotee. Oh, you are a pure devotee. You are a pure devotee. Right? After having spent some time in Krishna consciousness, after having related to people, after having done some transactions with people, dealing with people, you realize that not everybody is a pure devotee. Some people have difficulties. And if you are not rightly situated, if you just, if you continue staying in the society, people, obviously, you just, as you said, you just hang around for a long time, you become a senior devotee. We all know the senior devotee, and it's a society which gives tremendous importance to respect. So obviously, senior people will give respect. It's a very respectable society, our ISKCON society. So respect is a very, very important part of our society. So obviously, there will be respect given to senior people. And then you start thinking, Sachinananda Swami says, that after all, I'm not so bad. And people around, not everybody is a pure devotee. And if you're not rightly situated, and you will see, well, this is hypothetical. How can this happen? But it has happened. This is what he said, and this is what we have seen. If you are not correcting, you are not constantly, safeguarding your consciousness, your thinking process, that at one point you will actually feel that everybody is wrong, everybody is useless, I am the only right person. And haven't you seen this happen to people? That you become so self-righteous and you feel that, oh, I know my desire of my Guru so well, nobody else knows it. You become so self-righteous. So that's the problem. So till the time you are not completely realizing how insignificant you are, you cannot really approach Krishna. You have to say, Krishna, Krishna, I am really this fallen. And then it's explained, what is it? I surrender you because you are the perfect master. Now, we realize that we are fallen and we need to surrender. But many a times, we surrender to the wrong master. And then we get frustrated and we get actually doubts about the whole process of surrendering to a master. Haven't people burnt their fingers? Or when we say finger, haven't they burnt, they have bad experiences in surrendering to somebody who was not really the right master. And then they just hate the word surrender. They say no surrender at all. What is that phrase? One who is burnt by milk, he drinks buttermilk even with great caution. I mean, buttermilk can never be hot. But if it is white, I should be cautious. So you are very cautious. You are drinking buttermilk, can never be hot. No question, nobody eats buttermilk. But you are cautious. Why? Because you have lost your faith in anything which looks white. Because it burns. You got that experience. You got that experience. So, how to avoid that experience? Uddhava is saying, if we surrender to Krishna, who is the only Ekala, Ishvara, Krishna, Ara Sakala Bhritya. Krishna is the only perfect master. There cannot be any other perfect master. And this master will never ever make you feel despondent, make you feel frustrated, make you feel sorry of surrendering to him. Because he is the only person, and Uddhav establishes why. Because our Shastra is not this Jnana, it is Vigyan. Vigyan means to establish with reasons why Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Very, very interesting. So here is a beautiful scientific process where we can see here how Uddhav is so scientifically talking to Krishna. It's not just emotions flowing. Yeah, there are emotions flowing, but within those emotions, there is a whole process which has been seen. The process of realizing the glory of Krishna, the process of realizing the fallenness of ourselves, and the process of knowing that how Krishna is the only real master to surrender and the reasons why. So it's explained that Krishna, what is it saying? It's explained that Krishna is the only person who is faultless. Krishna, I mean, it's that you've surrendered to a master, and in due course you realize, oh, the master has some faults. He's not the right master that I should have surrendered. Because I want to surrender to somebody who has no faults. And who is there in this world who has no faults? What does the Ishopanishad explain? Om Purnam Adha Purnam Idam Purnash Purnam Uddachite Purnashya Purnam Adhaya Purnam Eva Vashishyate. There's only one person. Krishna is perfect and complete, and everything emanating from Krishna is perfect and complete. He is the only person whom we can surrender. And the interesting thing is, there are many times that people have found faults in Krishna. There are faults. And sometimes as Krishna being a leader, he accepted, okay, if you see I'm a fault, I will prove that I'm not faulty. And of course, we have the famous story of the Shamantaka jewel. Huh? Or we have so many times Krishna said, oh, Krishna is to steal butter. Krishna is to do all sorts of, unsocial things with ladies. Bhishma Dev, you have this discussion in, Rupa Goswami mentions about the glories of Krishna has been the most renounced. Bhishma Dev is glorifying. I think it's in Nectar Devotion, right? Bhishma Dev is glorifying that the whole world thinks that I am a great brahmachari. But Krishna, according to me, you are the supreme brahmachari. You are something detached. Bhishma is saying, and Bhishma has all the right to say that because he is actually a most powerful brahmachari. And he's saying, the whole world thinks I'm a great brahmachari, but Krishna, you are supreme. And brahmachari and Krishna from a superficial understanding, how can Krishna be brahmachari? But Krishna is the most renounced dita because it has nothing to do with the material energy. It has nothing to do with anything which is not part of him, because everything is part of him. And when everything is part of him, he's not enjoying separate from him. That means he is enjoying something which is supposed to enjoy. So he is the supreme brahmachari. There cannot be any fault. Shamantaka jewel, Krishna says, okay, if you think I stole the jewel, it's a beautiful story, enchanting story. And of course came back with 2 queens, Satyabhama and Jambavati, to get after that episode. So Krishna is without any fault. And then it is explained that he is not limited to space and time, and thus he will dutifully reward all his servants. Krishna is not limited to space and time. So because if somebody has to reward, as is explained in the purport, you feel that the master feels so nice that yes, this servant has done a great job for me, I want to reward him. But suppose before he rewards, the master is no more. He says, well, the master dies or something. He's not able to reward. But Krishna, is explained by Uddhav, is not limited to space and time. He can help anybody, anytime. Who was the teacher of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Nimai Pandit. What is his name? Gangadas Pandit. Beautiful. The first person that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called during the Mahaprakash, he called for Gangadas Pandit. And he explained, my dear teacher Gangadas, do you remember that when on that faithful night, when the Mughal soldiers were attacking, they came to your house and you were extremely worried that they will really, do something very wrong to your wife and to your daughter? And you were fearful, you were running for your life, running to protect the chastity of your 2 ladies of your house. You came to the banks of the Ganges, you were desperately looking for, it was a stormy night. You were waiting for some boat. You were desperately waiting that when will that boat come and I will be transported. And there was no boat. And suddenly their boat came. And you sat in the boat. I said, I was that boatman who came and protected you. This is one example of the many, many examples that Krishna reciprocates. There is no time. Krishna remembers everything. And he can beautifully reciprocate. There is nothing that he forgets. And he is always there to really reciprocate back. There's so much love, Gangadas Pandit, you gave me, and I needed to reciprocate with you. And then, of course, the whole pastime of Sridhar Kolovecha. Amazing pastime. Krishna never forgot all the trouble that he gave to Sridhar Kolovecha. Of course, for Sridhar it was not trouble, it was ecstasy. And then Krishna reciprocated with Sridhar Kolovecha. And we also had the example of Sudama. We saw the beautiful drama, I think a month back, enacted by the devotees. How Krishna so beautifully reciprocated with Sudama. He came and he wanted in his heart, he had a desire that his wife has sent him for some desire to really get some comfort. Krishna knew it. And Krishna reciprocated. So through these beautiful descriptions from the Bhagavatam, we must understand these 2 very, very important lessons, like a take-home understanding for, not just for today, but as a lesson from the Bhagavatam, as a lesson Uddhava is giving us. The take-home message is that we need to be enough profusely frustrated and tormented with the material energy. Doesn't mean that you become pessimistic. It doesn't mean that you become negative. Oh, what is this useless world? You live in this world. As we say, making the best use of the bad bargain. We need to live in this world, but we need to be sure that there is no hope here. If you start getting hope in this material world, you are in a very, very dangerous predicament. there is no hope. You live here, you live for whatever time that Krishna wants you to live here and do the needful, as we say, but there is no hope of anything that is going to be making us eternally happy. Because the only thing that will make us eternally happy is if we are enough frustrated with material energy, and parallelly, this frustration is just shunyavad. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya. That's, not complete. This frustration. But along with this frustration, to really feel the glories of Krishna as manifested in the Bhagavatam. And to understand how Krishna is the perfect master and the right person for us to Sharanyam Prapadye, to completely surrender. If we do that, that is the perfection of our life. Thank you very, very much. Hare Krishna. Any questions, any comments, any clarifications? Granth-raj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.